Hey, we are going to work on Murder in the Alps, Block 3. This is this murder mystery that you get a chapter of the book every month, and you get the directions either by templates or foundation paper piecing. And I've been promising myself to really learn foundation paper piecing 2026. That's one of my goals. So I'm going to do foundation paper piecing. So this is what the block is supposed to look like when we're done. We'll see if it does. And block 3, option 2, very clearly outlined. You might want to consider doing this next year. Depends on where she takes us next year. I wasn't interested in the Mexico, South America one this previous year, but I sure am interested in this reproduction of the Agatha Christie concept of 1920s murder in the Alps on the Orient Express. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so what I've done was I downloaded the directions and the printed instruction, and I did 4 of them because we needed to make 4 blocks this month, and they're all the same. So what I do is I print them out, make sure that the sizing is correct. Then I have my craft scissors, and you just cut them out and tape them together to make the blocks, and then start your paper piecing process. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out. We'll cut this part out or reduce this in our movie as we go. And you get your handy dandy Scotch tape or facsimile thereof. And let's see how these put together. Tape to the top of section 4. Okay, and I suppose we could, those are the lines that match up. So it's right there. Okay, and then it says number 2, tape to the bottom of 1. Okay, we can do that. Now I'm just folding them back on the line. I suppose you could use a light box, but I don't know that that's necessary. Well, it sure helps that all these lines have to line up because that helps with registration as well. All right, so there's our block. And then we have the corner piece, which is a rounded piece. And I've been working on those Mary and Joseph round pieces, so I'm not scared about using a piece of round. I've been practicing. All righty, so I'm going to try doing block 1. And let's see what we need to do for that. So I need to go pull out my green tea, my deep teal, my medium teal, my light teal, and my persimmon. All right, I'm going to go get those. I'll be right back. So here's our fabrics, and here is my dark teal. Here's my green tea. Where's my persimmon? I'll have to go look for that. Well, thank goodness it was right where it belonged. Here is block 2. And here's block 1. Was there only supposed to be 3 of these? Oh no, there's 4. I took the paper off of one of them. So there's 4 of those. 4 of these, and here's our persimmon. Okay, so which one of the persimmons should we use? I'm sort of leaning towards this pretty one with the gold flecks in it because it, radiant makes it think of a sun. So I'm gonna I'm going to use this one this time. Now, if we need more persimmon as we go forward, we'll continue to use these. I think they'll go together just great. And let's see, that one's done then. And then we need a deep and a green. Okay, we got those guys. Now we need a medium and a light. Well, I'm going to use this one as light. And I'm going to use, which may be different than what I did last time. I don't know. And this, I'm going to use this one as medium. Although I could use this beautiful one. That's gorgeous. I think I'm going to continue to use these golden flecked ones. I don't know if we will run out of them before we finish this according to what we're supposed to need. And if that's the case, then we'll switch over to these other ones. So I've got plenty of that. So we're going to use this one. Nope. And maybe I want to use that one. No, we'll use this one. So that's medium, light, and dark. Or medium, light, and dark. I think we'll use that one. All right, so here's our fabrics. And all right, so let's figure out how to do this. We'll put all this to the side. So it says, begin by printing. Yeah, we did that. Take together, we did that. Are there any instructions on where to start? Oh, here we go. A1, this is where you start. Each template is labeled with the appropriate fabric and numbered in sequential order of assembly. So, order of assembly is this one first. Then this one and this one. And if you remember, we did the foundation paper piecing, and you always work from the back side of it with the front side up. I don't think there's any smaller pieces of this. Let me go look. I think I'll just cut off a whack of a piece of this off. And I wonder if this is how other people do it. Well, let's see, we turn this down, this up, and make sure it goes past where it needs to be. And we're going to go past that line, and we're going to put some green tea right there. I've watched the practice ones with Deborah Mobes. So let's see, we're going to be going make sure it's past both of those places. Let's see. Yes, that's what we want. Now we turn it over and we do A1 and A2. Well, we're doing A2 and A3. That's okay. We're really close here. And no, I shouldn't have done that. So let's see. We're going to fold this back. I don't want to cut off that much. What are we doing? Are we doing the wrong thing? Should we be going this way? Maybe that's it. Let's do that. Now I think that's what I was lining up, is that we want to have, you know, how we did the remember how we did those paper pieces with that other crazy thing I was doing? What was that, butter churn? So we want to make sure we have enough of it hanging over to do a seam allowance. And I like that. Now we should be able to go to the machine and sew along this line. Does that make sense? Have I fumbled around enough? Let me hold it up for you, because I did pin them. So this A1, A2. So we're going to drive along on this row, and it's going to have a seam allowance. Let's do it and see what happens. Which one are we doing? A1 and A2, okay. A1, A2, right there. I'm going to put the needle down and then look under here one more time, make sure we don't, yeah, it looks right. Okay, here we go. Oh, we're going to make it smaller too. Smaller stitches so that we can rip it off easier. All right, here's the moment of truth. Is this going to work? get my squeaky little seam roller out. Where did I put that? There it is. Oh, and by the way, remember on that Whims watercolor? They did send me enough of that. I'm so frustrated. I should have... It was right on my tray, right on my tray. I think since these are so big, I'm going to fire up the iron. All right. We hit the first seam, and I think it's right. I'm going to pause here because I need to find out what's happening with the grandchildren today. I think they're on spring break, and I need to be available if they need me. In other words, do I get to come over and make mess and have fun and fold laundry and go for a walk and, you know, get dirty and stuff? All right, so I'll come back to you as soon as we get that figured out, and I'll get this pressed, and we'll put on the second line. I'm going to make this morning for sure. Okay, so we are back to Murder in the Alps, block 3 we are, and we did the first line, and I pressed it, but I would still have to give it another press real quick. Okay, next. So the next thing we do, let's see, what do? We folded that back, we did that, okay, perfect. Now the next one we're gonna do is this A1, A3. So we can do that. A1, A2, A3, then 4, then 5. Okay, so we're gonna do the green next on this side. So what we do is we fold it back on this line between 1 and 2, 1 and 3. Is that right? Yes, it is. That's pretty good. And we trim off. Remember how we do an add a fourth? We use that little pink one for those small blocks. Well, now I'm going to use my ruler that has a 1/4 marking there. These are creative grids. I got to admit, those are my favorites. They seem to be quite flexy. Okay, so I'm going to add a fourth and cut that excess off. Remember I ran over that pin a couple of days ago? Doggone, I'm going to have to change that blade. Okay, so we keep going down here. Now we lay a green piece along there. Here's a green piece. Do we have a smaller green piece? No, that's it. Okay. Get some of these strings off of here. All right, I think we're going to just use this piece right here because it's sort of straight. I'm going to put it right there on that one. Well, I'm going to bring it out a little further. Okay, now what do we do next? Okay, oh, I know, we should whack off a little bit. So how much are we going to need? We're going to need probably 3 or 4 inches would be more than enough. Now, I think when Deborah Mobes does this as an example, she just whips that whole piece back and forth and throws it to the side, and I'm afraid of that. So I'm going to, I'm going to use that edge. That's straighter. Now, we're going to turn this over. So we've got our margin, our seam allowance, and we're going to make sure that we have enough green to do this little section right here, which I definitely cut off enough for that. Okay, so we've got A1 and A3, and we're going to sew along this line from this side. And here we go. A1 and A3. Put the needle down. Pick it up and look at, yep, looks good. All right, here we go. Get right on that line. What's going on here? Here we go. Whoa, that was fun. Looks pretty good. I love this magnet pin cushion. It is the fanciest. Okay, so we did okay. There's one section there where it's a little bit thin. I think it'll be okay. All right, I'm gonna press it open. There's what we got. Okay, so back to this side. Woo! Sort of stressful to do something new, isn't it? Okay, we did A1, 2, and 3. Now we're supposed to do A4, which is medium teal. It's going to be this one. So we fold back the paper from the front. So we know that that's where the stitching line is going to go. And our fabric has to come past it. Okay, that's on the line. Maybe a little bit more that way. Now remember, we're going to use the 1/4. And we're going to cut off the excess green. Oh, good. And now we're going to put on a strip of this guy. All right, now I have been cutting off a piece, but let's see if I can do it like that Deborah Mobes did it. She just whips that whole thing back and forth. And we can't pin it yet because we have to open this up. Now pin it. You know who Deborah Mobes is? She's the designer of this designer mystery thing. She writes the story, I think. And the story is really interesting. This installment was about the girl archaeologist, Kitty Campbell, which is cute. And she is on a Orient Express, and they're looking at the gorgeous, a lot of descriptive words describing the Art Deco appearance of the train cars and how their conductor, well, not conductor, their train assistant, I don't know what to call that, but it's someone who comes in and makes up their beds, because usually you have seats to sit on with a little table to look out the window, but then when it's evening time, that goes away and it turns into 2 bunk beds. Have you ever done an overnight or a suite on an Amtrak? It's sort of like that, only boy, that is bare bones. And so the description on the Orient Express is so cool. Okay, so we've got it pinned. We've got it so that we have a seam allowance. And so now we're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew that line. And then we should be able to cut off that extra hunk without a problem. So we're going to sew the line between 2 and 4. And I'm going to put the needle down and then lift up this and look under there. Yep, looking good. Pick up the needle, put it over just a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, here we go. I better move this. Yep. Okay. Where'd that pin go? Here it is. All right, so now we flip that over. Woo, that's gonna be pretty. And I'm gonna press it, and then we're gonna cut off the excess. Okay. Now, how do we do that? Well, we go to the back side, and we fold that back. What's under there? Well, I don't know that I should have done that. We're going to have to address it before, because I want, now the next thing we're supposed to add is over here. So what I'm going to do then is add the 1/4 from there based on the next line, right? Gee whiz. Yeah, we're going to change blade right now. Okay, so, okay. Well, that's okay. We can keep going. So the next one we're supposed to do is a 5. So that means we're going to fold this back between 3 and 5. You know, doing those Sew Sampler foundation paper pieces from It's Sew Emma has really given me an idea that how we're supposed to do this. I'm glad I did them. Okay, so you see we folded that back, and so now we have this extra to take off. So we're going to use the 1/4. So it's like having that little pink ruler, that add a seam one. Do you know what I mean? It's this this little guy. Because it has a lip on it. Well, we don't have a lip on this one, but we're going to use the 1/4 concept. Okay. Oh, that worked better. Thank goodness. All right, and then the next one on that is supposed to be medium teal. Okay, so that would be the same as this one here. And we're going to, I'm going to make that straight. There we go. Now, I'm gonna lay that down like so. Put this on it. Perfectamundo. Make sure that's on there good. And we could fold it back and pin it right now. Is that what I've been doing? Now you got to use a sturdier pin. You can't use these delicate ones that I think we got in the So Sampler box. You got to have a stronger one because you're going through all that paper. Now that shifted. Must have been when I lifted this part up. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now let's see, is that good? That's good. Okay, so we're going to sew along on that line. Okay, we'll bring it over to the machine. I'm gonna put the presser foot down and put the needle down and then lift it up and look. Yep. And this is the row between A3 and A5. I think it's working. Is that too soon to say? So let's, I guess I could press it. That's pretty. All right, so I think what we have to do next is do that folding thing to figure out how far out we want to cut this one off at. Oh, this is where it's sewn. Okay, so we want to do the A5, A7. A little bit too much. Okay. Yeah, that works. Now we're going to give that an, let's turn it around so that I'm not working opposite. Okay, so I'm going to cut off the excess and then go to the other side and put the next color on, I think is what we're going to do here. So we're cutting off the excess, allowing the 1/4 seam allowance. And I'm holding the ruler with my fingers to keep it from scooting back here and not leaving enough seam allowance for me. All right. Now the next one we're going to do is over here, A4, A6, because we just did 5. So we're going to do 6 next. Oh, I'm glad that cut was pretty good. Boy, that works good for the paper too. All right, so next is, what color is that supposed to be? Green tea. Wonder if that would be big enough. Here's a bigger piece. Yeah, I think it would be. Well, that'd be good. Okay, so this is going to be under there, right sides together. I think that will work. Okay, so let's tape that. Pin that. Make sure we have those allowances. Yes. So we sew it from this side. And I'm going to put down the needle at where it belongs. And look under there and make sure it's lined up. Yes. Okay, here we go. No, makes me nervous, you know? Boy, is that coming out nice or what? Okay, so the next one will be the green over here. I don't think this one's big enough. Well, it might be. No, it isn't. So let's cut a bigger piece. What's that? Nope. So we've got our selvage. And we're going to put down a piece of green. Nice straight edge. Well, I'm going to fix that and give it a straight edge. Now I'm happy. That shall go right there. See, with that bigger piece hanging there, I'm not sure if I like that concept of just leaving the big piece there. But otherwise, you are wasting more, I think. See, this is open. And I'm going to pin it this way this time. I think last time I flipped it over and pinned it. All right, let's sew that. This is number A5 and A7. Put the needle down. Make sure everything's there. Okay, go. Hit the gas and stay on the line. All right. Whew. Take out the pins. Press it. And let's see how we do this. We go to the next line in order to find where we need to trim that fabric at. And I like to work the other direction. Sorry, messy up here. I'm so right-hand dominant, it's sad. Yes. Now add a seam allowance. Okay, and then the thing we're doing next is this one over here. Oh, here it is. I scared me there for a minute. Where did it go? So we're going to fold back with between A6 and A8. Yep. Oh, so now we need to trim this one too. This was that little odd shaped one. Now here we go. All right, and then the next color we put on is light teal. So let's turn that over. We're going to lay light teal down. So you can see on this side how much you're going to need, and I think we've got plenty. And we need to bring this up. Okay, so now we turn this over and sew it. Right here. Putting the needle down, and then check it, make sure that our seam allowances are all nice. Okay, here we go. Okay. Take out the pins. Fold this over. Oh, that's going to be pretty. And let's see, we turn it over this way. Good, no folds. We're in good shape. Trying to get the fold right on that line is a little bit challenging. Let's see if I did it. Oh yes, much better. And then we're going to add a fourth. And here we are over here again, and we're supposed to be adding light teal. So here we go, back again. Making sure that that's good. That's good. Now we're going to sew along on this line down here. I think I'll put another pin in there. Okay. Put the needle down. Let's just keep going with the routine. Look under there, make sure it's square and straight. And here we go. Let's turn the gas down a little. Here we go. Oh boy, look at there. It's coming along. Putting the pins back. Now we're going to cut off the excess on this side again like we did last time. Only we're going to fold this back. You know, I'm going to cut off this extra here. It's making me nervous. Okay, we're going to add a fourth to that. It's this routine. You just have to follow the routine over and over. And I don't know about you, but the way it helped me remember is to just talk out loud the whole time. So that one's cut and ready. This one's cut and ready. I'm going to press it a little more. Boy, is that looking pretty or what? Now the last part, I believe, is going to be the green tea again. I think I'm just going to cut some strips. Makes me nervous. Yes, I did eyeball that, but I'm pretty sure it'll work. So we've got them both pinned. We're going to go ahead and press them. Sew them both. So I'm going to put the needle down. We're going to do the line between A9 and A11. Needle down, check the bottom. Yep, go. And let's do the other side. Is that it? Yes, it is. It's the one between A8 and A10. Put the needle down. Check. Yep. Hit the gas. All right. Is the moment of discovery here. Is this going to be good? I'm thinking it might be. I'm going to go press them. Woohoo! That's pretty. Now I think the next thing I want to do is cut off the excess. So I'm going to go around on the dotted lines. I think I want the dotted lines, don't I? Let me see what it says. Where did I put those directions? Over here. No, it doesn't say. So I'm just going to cut it out on the actual line of the block. Because these dotted lines are just how you position it, I'm pretty sure. At least that's how it was before. Now for this inner curve, I'm going to use a small scissor. I'm going to use my craft scissors so I don't mess up my nice big ones. Now, does that look beautiful or what? I am very happy with that. Now let's do the persimmon little round corner. What did I do with that? That's plain paper. Here's templates. Did I throw it in here? Well, it's right here somewhere. Let's find it. There it is. It's over on the floor. So now we're going to get our persimmon piece. It says sew without the paper attached. What was that? It was my extension cord. Everything's fine. Perfect. Now let's see here. definitely think we need to cut it down to this smaller size just by lining it up there. You need to work on my scissor work, huh? So how you do it is you just start on that corner and then you go around the bend. So I'm going to give it a try. Let's see what the midline is going to be right there. That's not enough to see. Let's do it again. So I'm going to do the midline. Where's middle? Put some lines there. And we know that middle is going to be right there. So we're going to come around here to this middle. And then we're going to go around to that side. Is that the middle? Maybe I eyeballed it too quickly. Should be right in the middle of that deep teal. Yeah, right there. Well, shall we try it? I'm willing to give it a shot. Here we go. And I just sort of position it a little bit every 2 steps. Yeah, and that middle is going to line up pretty good, I think. I'm going to take some of that tension off of that. There. I guess every 2 steps, every 2 stitches, I'm making sure we're lining up. Now, I'm putting the midline, the mark on the middle is now matching up with the mark on the middle of the teal. Keep coming. It's getting harder to get the fabric to come around because we're working against all that paper. And I'm going to use my forceps to hold that corner as we go around. Okay, let's see what happened. It helps that this is a little bit on the bias. I'm going to press it. Ta-da! Let's see if it's just a little distorted. Let's see what the measurements are on this block now. It's supposed to be 12 and a half. Well, we're just at 12. Now, how could that be? I checked the sizes on the computer. Well, there's our 12-inch block. I guess I can go back and review to see how the measurements line up, because it gives you the square that you need to make sure is exactly 2 inches. And let's see that it is. That's exactly 2 inches. That's exactly 2 inches. I don't know how we could do it any different. They're exactly on the lines. Maybe if I would have cut it out on those dots, then we'd have a ½ inch more. You know, the pattern has dots on it. Well, I'll have to review it all. I'll have to read it all again. Oh boy. Well, at least I'll be able to post this block up to the Murder Mystery Clue site and get my optional additional clue tomorrow. That'll be good. And I'll review everything in the written format and review the Zurich Clue Club, which I'm part of. And that should give me some comments from other folks, what they're finding. So we'll see what happens. But on color choices and on getting it done pretty easily, I'm very happy with foundation paper piecing, especially since I've been practicing so much with, I don't know, you can see the butter churn paper piecing, and then the braid was paper piecing. What else was paper piecing? Oh, this was square and a square paper piecing. So we've done a lot of paper piecing with So Sampler this year, so it's really helped. Okay, well, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll try to edit out a bunch of this stuff, and please subscribe. I'd appreciate that very much, and leave me a comment, goodness sakes. That seems to be a big deal with YouTube, and so please talk to me. How are you doing? Are you making this? Are you considering doing it next year? I don't think you can still get into it. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at that on the internet. Murder Mystery, and it's noted in the description, I believe. All right, take care. Bye-bye.